For my A2 media production, I created a short film called Consequences: The Taking. The idea of this film was influenced by real-life media productions, mainly Hitman 47, as well as Fast and Furious 7 and Taken 2. As you noticed, the two movie ideas we got from these films were released last year, which shows that we have aimed to have quite a modern approach, like a fast-paced thriller action genre, which has advanced human technology involved in it due to the year of production, which in our case was 2015. The film was about a girl who gets herself caught up in a web of conspiracy, and she unintentionally gets her hands on some highly wanted information and finds herself kidnapped by an unknown protagonist. The image you can see on the screen was our first print artifact product. We didn't really like this one because the images seen on the print, which are the car, the light background, and the screenshots that we took from Pulp Fiction, are not from our production, so this defeated the purpose of our own print artifact. With this being said, it was good practice. We also didn't like the name, as we felt like it was too mainstream and basic, so we changed the name to Consequences: The Taken, as it fits a lot more compared to our narrative, and we felt that the name Pursuit was a little bit too mainstream. The car was the main priority in this print artifact, however, that wasn't what we were aiming for. We wanted the screenshots and Pulp Fiction to stand out, hence why we put them in the back, and we put them in black and white, as this didn't work in our favour. Also, the car looks very unrealistic and fake compared to the car we actually used in the production, and this was another reason why we were against the idea, and we drastically changed the print artifact. The image you can see on screen is our final product of the film poster. We decided to use a Doc 11 font, which is rare, and you have to purchase this online because it gives the product a very defined look, and it stands out on top of the screen in very big and bold sizing, so it really comes off as effective, as well as the contrast between the red and white fonts, and it really stands out and matches the genre. We also used the red and white fonts as well as the red and white colour corrections in the product to really match the two products and link them together. We decided to layer images on top of the product using Photoshop. Within this, we had the location in the background and an action shot of the protagonist character. The location in the background is where it was filmed, which we took on a camera, and the protagonist character, it's a screenshot that we used, and then we just green screened it, took the background out of it, and placed it on top of the product. And this really created an insight as to where the scenes are filmed and where the product is located, and we felt this was a clever idea to do. The print artifact is linked to the film because every single image you see on the screen is either out of the product or the protagonist character who is in the product. So we've done this and the fact that it has worked well. We took some audience feedback before making the product, and we proposed this to them, and the fact this idea worked well, and that the print artifact, while the film poster, made them want to see the film, which we felt was effective, and therefore we'd like to link these ideas from the film back into the print product. Okay, so for one of the ancillary texts, which was the double-page spread film review by Empire, we created two. I'll explain the reason we created two in a minute, but for the first film review, as you can see on screen, it was constructed and was inspired by Empire magazines. After looking at quite a few film reviews by Empire, we decided to construct something similar, quite a generic one. Using the same layout and font sizes, it worked great. As you can see from the film review, we have clearly included big fonts for the main titles, using a quite stylish and modern effect. We used to have a dark colouring or black for these titles, so they're readable and are seen as a priority and stand out. We have also used a theme of red, white, orange and black, as we made sure that it stuck to those colours. For example, red, which is the colour seen on the action shot of our protagonist, comes off as quite effective, but we also choose red because it symbolises a threat, which links to the film and the production, and it also links with the narrative. We also use the Cambria body font as our articles, as we felt that it looks very formal and neat. Another simple reason of using this font is because it's easy to read, because when I was looking through some of the film reviews, they use quite complex fonts, such as italics and different sizes, and it proved to be quite difficult to read. I decided to use the Cambria body effect on this specific artifact product, because when reviewing the Spider-Man 2 article, I noticed that they use the same font, and it looks very effective in their work, which was another influence to the use of the font. The Spider-Man 2 review had 90% positive feedback from my classmates when I proposed it to them in the audience feedback, and the teachers also said the same, and I asked them to feedback on it, and they explained that the font was their favourite thing about the product. This ancillary text links back to the film, because in this film review, like our print artifact, I've used action shots from our film and added them to the review. This is effective because it gives an insight to what happens in our film, and these action shots are the key parts of the film, so it draws the audience to the attention and the perspective of the characters. These action shots have been edited into a faded orange colour. This was done in the effect of our theme, which was orange, and we felt this worked well and set the tone for our film review. From my audience research, I found out that the orange represents attraction, and they felt that it shows the creativity, and this explains why we used the font. As you can see, this is the second print artifact, and I'm just going to explain a little bit about it. This is my favourite print artifact that I created on Photoshop, as it really does link back to the main production and has quite a lot of similar conventions in it. So I'm going to start off by explaining the character. As you can see on the left hand side, you have the character that's been green screened, had an effect over it, and has been placed on top of the product. This shows the audience straight away who the main character is and shows a little insight into the production. This screenshot was taken from the production, so straight away you can see real media taken from the production and put into the film review. Behind the character, you can see that the screenshots from the film, there's 3, they have a low opacity again, so you can't really see them, but they blend in, and you can just see them enough to show a little bit of action and what exactly is in the film. So you can see the car, the girl being kidnapped, and you can also see some hands in rope, which suggests some form of kidnapping. At the top and bottom, on the bottom I have page 1 and page 2, so you can clearly see the conventions that have been used, and on the top you have the www.empireonline.com text. Again, this popular convention of the Empire magazine. This is not related to the film production, but it is a popular convention and makes it look very professional and realistic. I also use the Empire logo as well as a 4-star review that is often used. Again, the same as from the first ancillary text, I used a lot of inspiration from Empire magazines, a lot of research, a lot of audience research, and I also added in the location there, which is London, and it also points to it on the globe, which shows whereabouts it's been shot, which is another popular convention which was in the Empire magazines, as well as a quote from another media source which says, "Nail biting, a film to remember," from the Daily Star. I used a lot of text. I used again the Doc 11 font which was used in the production, as well as the film poster, and a did you know fact as it's a popular convention. If you look at the film review as well as the film poster, they're very similar style, does similar colour corrections, similar colour themes, similar text, similar fonts, and the film poster links in with the film production, so everything's very continued, it's very similar, you can tell that they're the same product, and I think this really is a good combination from the print artifacts to the production, which is the film poster, the double page spread, and the short movie, which all link in very well.